Hey folks, welcome to another edition of the Crow's Nest. It's been a little while. I've obviously had a lot going on, and that's actually what the subject of this video is. It's a little delayed in getting to you, but I wanted to make sure that we had a couple of things lined up before I did this video. So the big things that I want to touch on in this video are all of the recent recognition and awards that Coyote Crow's gotten. I want to talk about my response to them and also show them off. But also want to talk about what they mean to me as far as the future of Coyote Crow goes. So first of all, I want to acknowledge everybody who backed us for our game Wolves. I'm so grateful. It was so kind. We got a fantastic response. And I'm really excited about the direction that Coyote Crow Games is headed in, what we've got planned for the future, and what's coming down the line. But let's start at the beginning and let's talk about Coyote Crow, the role-playing game. So in the last year, we've gotten a Nebula nomination, which was fantastic, and is definitely a feather in our cap. We also got 2 tabletop awards. Those are back there. Those are the wooden ones over my shoulder there. Yeah, those 2. One for the RPG and one as Rising Star Publisher. And that was incredible. And then more recently, we won the Origins Award for Best Core RPG. And that's this award here. It's given out by Gamma and the Game Manufacturers Association, and these are basically my peers in the industry, and so being recognized by my peers is always fantastic, and this is a huge honor. It's not something I expected at all. I certainly didn't go into designing Coyote Crow with the expectation of awards. That was not where I landed, so all of these are fantastic surprises and definitely something I'm very proud of. And then we were also awarded 2 awards at Gen Con this year. The first was the Crit Award. I don't have a physical incarnation of that award right now, but it's on their website. And that's for Best Multiplayer Role-Playing Game of the Year. And that was also amazing. It was their first year, and they had so many cool nominations, and so many great people got recognition. I'm thrilled for them. The biggest award I probably got as far as just what most widely known and most broad is the Diana Jones Award, which I've got here and I'll show in a second. But I just want to say thanks to Matt Forbeck and everybody on the Diana Jones Award committee. I remember hearing about the Diana Jones Award for the first time, I think in 2015, and it was one of those ones that were it felt very internal. It felt very like insider, and what I didn't realize, I don't think, is the weight of that award. And it took me a couple of years of seeing the people who were winning and the impact it had to understand how much that award means. And so going into award season, I had no inkling that I was going to be nominated. And considering some of the scope of the other nominees, I was kind of in shock to be in their company. And so the Diana Jones Award, I mean, you can certainly look it up, and it's got a really interesting history. The physical award itself has an interesting history, but then also all of the nominees and award winners are incredible on there. There's some amazing folks. And this is a big, chunky award, and you can see that there's all of the previous winners are listed here, and that's us down there in the bottom right. And it'll continue on around on the other sides as more people win this award, and I get to hand this off to them. And the award goes to Excellence in Gaming, which is this really broad title where there's not really categories. They simply pick something that has occurred in the game industry that year. It can be a specific game, it can be a designer, it can be a publisher, it can be a concept. I mean, one year I think it was Actual Plays awarded. or Black Excellence in Gaming won. So there's a whole breadth of things that can be given the award. So to be at the top of that pile and to get this award, yes, it's a huge honor, absolutely. But the meat of what I want this video to be about today is talking about what this award means to me specifically. And that is that it's a call to action. And that call to action is, I've been recognized now multiple times by folks in the game industry. And that's great. I'm being recognized by my peers, being recognized by folks that I've seen or worked with or have been involved with in some capacity for the last 10 years of my life is incredible. But it's a call to action for me because what I don't have up here is physical representation of my impact on Indigenous folks, on Native Americans. And that's really where I want my next chapter for Coyote Games to evolve into. That's where I want it to head. And that means getting the games that I'm designing out to people that aren't part of our industry and that don't know what these awards are, let alone have played more modern games. So in that department, I'm really happy to announce that we got dozens, I think more than 80 copies out to the Peace Library System in Alberta, Canada. That went out to schools and libraries. I'm super happy that those books got out there with our help from our partners, Coyote Games in Edmonton. And then I just recently started communications with a number of nonprofits that work on getting books into prisons. Specifically, I want to get copies of Coyote Crow into the hands of Native incarcerated folks. So over the next week, I'm going to be shipping out about 40 books as part of a trial run for getting books into prisons, and specifically into the Native sections where hopefully Native incarcerated folks can find those books. And then we've also got two other games in development. One is sort of hobby focused and focused on the sort of the hobby crowd, the folks that are going to be going to conventions and doing board game reviews. It's going to be very centric for them. And then we've got another one that is very family friendly coming up, and it's not even going to go to crowdfunding. I'm working with the graphic designer right now. We've already got the rules mostly developed, and that one's just going to be going straight to retail. And it's my attempt at bringing a more family friendly, quick, easy 30 to 40 minute card game to folks' tables that can just be played in a short amount of time, and has a fair amount of my own personal Cherokee heritage built into it. So we've got a lot of stuff coming up. Those are my personal plans for Coyote Crow Games. We've also got some fantastic partnerships. One I'm going to be announcing probably late next month. Then we've also got the Hero Forge partnership, which is going online soon. They already announced at Gen Con, but basically, in short, we're going to be having we have an official partnership working with Hero Forge for creating your own Coyote and Crow minis. You'll be able to go onto the Hero Forge site and create custom minis with Coyote and Crow specific gear and characters and patterns and clothing and hairstyles, all of that. So I'm really excited about that. That's coming up really soon. I'm not in a position to announce the date yet, but it's sooner than you think. And then, we've got Wolves. Wolves, of course, is the Kickstarter finished, and we are at the point now where we are working with the manufacturer to get all the changes that we want dialed in based on playtest feedback and the prototype, the physical prototype we got in, and the changes that I want to make. Mostly a lot of physical changes. The gameplay is relatively similar. We're not making any major changes to the gameplay. It's just a few tweaks of the wording that we decided to dial in. But yeah, so there's a lot going on with Coyote Crow. I don't want people to take my sort of semi-silence over the next few months as things are poor. It's the opposite. I'm just really busy. I'm very happy right now to be in a space where I am focusing more on game design than game marketing. So right now I'm very, very entrenched in working on those things and trying to find more new native partners to work with. We've got some potential merch coming from two different Indigenous owned companies, but both of those are things where I'm going to let them handle the heavy lifting on that, just so that they can focus on what they know, and I can sort of stay out of the way. And then we've also got 2 localization projects that hopefully I can show off soon. Those are other publishers working on translating Coyote Crow into other languages. And we're working on a number of folks with that in that department, and they're all at various stages. But I would love to be able to see them get into foreign languages, especially where there are large indigenous populations. Sadly, I don't have any progress to report on getting Coyote Crow into any indigenous language, and that would be a beast of a project simply because of how big the book is and how short we are in terms of having indigenous folks who are fluent speakers who could translate the book. So while that's still on the dream list for me, it's not happening anytime soon. But yeah, so I just want to say thank you again to all of the folks that were involved in giving Coyote Crow awards over the last year and a half, and I really hope that this is just a start. Like I said, this feels like a call to action for me. Like this is not a finish line. This is more like setting the bar for me. So yeah, I think that's all I've got for now. I hope you're having a fantastic weekend. I'm keeping my thoughts focused on the folks in Hawaii and in Canada right now who are suffering from the fires. And I hope you're all taking good care of yourselves. Be kind to each other. Wado.